Good morning at Shelter. It is 6 a.m., so you know what that means. It's our daily 6 at 6. Now, we've been continuing on with our series of Is It Living? And this week, we've been talking about one of the key aspects of a living organism, and that's the ability to excrete or to get rid of waste. Now, we've gone through the digestion. We've talked about different practices. Yesterday, Justin went into a beautiful little story about his dog, Blue, eating vomit. But today, I wanted to kind of shift and do something a little bit different. As much as this is an important concept to our spirituality and living, I wanted to do something a little bit more personal for every single one of you who actually watch this, who engage with this every single morning. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your morning to kind of listen to Pastor Jay and I. We've tried to do something during this COVID-19 shutdown. We said we were going to do something every single day, and thanks to the grace of God, we were able to kind of meet deadlines. Sometimes last minutes, video shooting and editing late into the night, but it has been a true honor to kind of sit behind the camera here and kind of just share what God has been teaching me, been teaching Justin, going through this whole new practice of kind of developing different storyboards that we can, share the gospel in unique and new ways for the Shelter Church. But in some ways, it's kind of good that it's coming to an end in a unique way, because I have not been more excited for a Sunday service in a long time than I am for this Sunday's service. And it is this joy of mine to say, welcome back. This Sunday, we are going to welcome back everyone who's wanting to come and meet with us. Now, we've gone through several precautions and done different things, as you guys will see when you guys enter the shelter, that we want you guys to be aware of, but we are taking this thing seriously, as well as making it as safe as possible, doing different cleaning and everything like that before you guys go ahead and arrive. But I want to personally invite you this Sunday to the shelter because I believe that this is something that we've forsaken, I think, a lot of times in our lives, because like anything else, it just becomes a habit a lot of the times. Like, we wake up on a Sunday morning and we drive to church and we go there because my friends are there, my family's there. I need to make sure my kids know. But truly, I think the heart of this has changed. I can't speak for anyone else except for the people that I've talked to during this time. And it's just been a unique thing, just be like, I miss people. I miss walking up and like having Elijah Atkinson grab me from behind and lift me up and thinks he's giving me a hug, but secretly he's breaking all my ribs. I miss that, ironically. But at the exact same time, there's an element of being around people that God has uniquely intended us to have. And so I wanted to kind of read you something which has been used for so long to kind of like condemn and condone, but I was reading it and it had new light for me. And it's the book of Hebrews, chapter 10. And I'm going to go through a few different verses because I want to tell you why I want to invite you. And we'll read it off here just here in a little bit. But I wanted to go through this. So this is chapter 10, verses 23 through 25. It says this: "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess. For he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another, all the more as you see the day approaching." Hebrews chapter 10 is this unique book and our chapter of Hebrews. And if you haven't read it, I'm going to encourage you guys to kind of go and tackle that book or that chapter today because it's a very unique one. The first section of it is having to do with the old sacrifices and understanding that there's no way that the sacrifices of the Old Testament were ever fully going to relieve you of sin. And that's why a perfect holy sacrifice had to come. That's why Jesus had to kind of come in the way that he did to fulfill all of the Old Testament prophecies. And he did it as a living sacrifice. And only through our belief in him are we truly forgiven. And then he calls in this one, next one in kind of verse 19, right above it, is a call to persevere in faith. Now, if there is ever a time in our society or our culture where I feel like this calling is unique, it's now. I don't think there's a single person on the planet who has not suffered in one way or another. I read something the other day where like the state of California had received an entire year's worth of calls to a suicide hotline, and they were only in the month of May. All of last year's numbers were all together by May. Suffering is abundant in our society. We can't turn on the news and see one person suffering, whether it be from the disease or whether it be from injustice that our world is facing, and we're protesting for change to a system that we ought to look at a little bit differently. And so I'm encouraged to meet together, because that verse used to be that thing where it's like, oh, you should be going to church. But now, like no other time in history, now we have an opportunity to go ourselves. And I'm so excited for you guys to gather with one another as we do so many times before, but I hope our hearts are in a new place. As it says in verse 24, as we spur one another on toward love and good deeds. I hope we are coming with the heart just to like give somebody a high five, a hug, whatever you're comfortable with. Guys, this Sunday is an opportunity to do what we haven't done for several months now. To convene, to worship, to spur one another on, to smile at somebody, to give somebody a look, a hug, a smile that they may have been missing because they haven't been in a place where the center of focus is Christ's love for us. Guys, I love you. And more importantly, I can't wait to see you on Sunday. Invite somebody. Bring somebody who you know needs a place of love where they can be spurred on in love and in good deed. I'll see you on Sunday.